Hey there, Garden Crumbs family. You know what's wild? You're probably spending $5 on a bag of organic baby greens at the grocery store, while some of the most nutritious, flavorful leaves on the planet are literally growing in your backyard for free. I'm talking about those plants you've been yanking out and tossing in your compost bin, the ones you thought were nothing but nuisances. But here's the thing. Your grandparents knew something we forgot. Those weeds aren't just edible, they're often more nutrient dense and flavorful than anything you'll find in the produce aisle. Now, before we dive in, let me be crystal clear about safety. First rule of foraging: never eat anything unless you're 100% certain of its identification. Second, only harvest from areas you know haven't been treated with pesticides, herbicides, or other chemicals. That means avoiding roadsides, public parks that spray, and your neighbor's chemically treated lawn. And third, when you're starting out, harvest small amounts and introduce new wild foods gradually to make sure your body tolerates them well. Got it? All right, let's get into the good stuff. Number 1. Dandelions. Let's start with the poster child of edible weeds, the humble dandelion. I know, you've been waging war against these things for years. But Taraxacum officinale is actually a nutritional powerhouse that makes your $6 bag of spring mix look like a sad joke. Every single part of this plant is edible, and each part brings something different to the table. The young leaves, especially those harvested in early spring before the plant flowers, have this pleasant bitter edge that's similar to arugula, but with more depth. They're loaded with vitamins A, C, and K, plus they contain more calcium than spinach and more iron than kale. That bitterness you taste, that's not a bug. It's a feature. Those bitter compounds actually stimulate digestion and support liver function. The older leaves get more bitter, but don't throw them away. Blanch them for 30 seconds in boiling water, shock them in ice water, and that bitterness mellows right out. The flowers are where things get fun. Those bright yellow blooms can be battered and fried, tossed into salads for a pop of color, or even made into wine if you're feeling ambitious. They have this subtle, honey-like sweetness that's completely unexpected. And the roots? Dig them up in fall when they're at their most potent. Roast them low and slow until they're dark brown and fragrant, then grind them up for a caffeine-free coffee substitute that actually tastes good. It's got this deep, earthy, slightly sweet flavor with none of the jitters. Here's my favorite way to use dandelion greens. Sauté them with garlic and olive oil, just like you would with any bitter green, then hit them with a squeeze of lemon and some red pepper flakes. Or toss the young leaves raw into a salad with bacon, hard-boiled eggs, and a warm vinaigrette. Trust me, once you start eating dandelions, you'll stop seeing them as weeds and start seeing them as free, organic superfood. Number 2. Lamb's quarters. If dandelions are the gateway drug to foraging, then lamb's quarters is where you become a full-on convert. Chenopodium album is hands down one of the best-tasting wild greens you'll ever put in your mouth, and it's so common that it probably grows everywhere you've ever lived. Some foragers call it wild spinach, and that's not far off, except it's actually better than spinach. The leaves are dusty blue-green with this distinctive whitish coating that looks almost like flour, which is where it gets part of its name. When you taste it raw, it's mild, slightly nutty, with just a hint of minerality. Cooked, it becomes tender and rich with a flavor that's more complex than cultivated spinach. And nutritionally, it blows spinach out of the water. We're talking higher levels of protein, calcium, phosphorus, iron, and vitamins A and C. The Aztecs cultivated a related species called huauzontle as a staple crop, and for good reason. The beauty of lamb's quarters is its versatility. You can use it anywhere you'd use spinach. Wilt it into pasta, blend it into smoothies, stuff it into quesadillas, or use it as a bed for roasted vegetables. The young growing tips are the most tender, but even the larger leaves cook down beautifully. I love making a simple sauté with lamb's quarters, onions, and a splash of cream, then seasoning it with nutmeg and black pepper. It's basically creamed spinach, but better and free. One cool trick, the seeds are edible too. If you let some plants go to seed in late summer, you can harvest those tiny black seeds, winnow away the chaff, and cook them like quinoa. They're from the same family, after all. It's a bit labor-intensive for the amount you get, but it's a fun experiment and a reminder that indigenous peoples across the Americas were eating this plant long before we started calling it a weed. Number 3. Purslane. Now we're getting into the really good stuff. Portulaca oleracea is what I like to call the lazy gardener's superfood. It thrives in the worst conditions, in compacted soil, in the cracks of your driveway, basically anywhere you don't want it. And yet this succulent little plant with its thick, paddle-shaped leaves and red stems is one of the most nutritious foods you can eat. Here's what makes purslane special. It has more omega-3 fatty acids than any other leafy vegetable. We're talking the same beneficial fats you get from fish. It's also loaded with vitamins A, C, and E, plus a bunch of minerals and antioxidants including glutathione and betaline. Traditional medicine systems around the world have used it for everything, and modern research is starting to back up a lot of those claims. The flavor is where purslane really shines. It's got this mild, slightly lemony, slightly peppery taste with a juicy, crisp texture that's almost like tiny cucumber leaves. It's incredibly refreshing, especially in summer when it's growing like crazy. The Greeks and Turks have been eating purslane for thousands of years, and it's a staple in Mexican cuisine where it's called verdolagas. Use it raw in salads where its crunchy texture adds interest, or cook it into scrambled eggs, omelets, or tacos. It's fantastic pickled too. The thick leaves and stems hold up well to a vinegar brine, and you end up with something that's kind of like pickled okra but better. One of my favorite quick dinners is purslane sautéed with tomatoes, onions, and jalapenos, served with warm tortillas. Simple, healthy, and absolutely delicious. Just one note. Purslane is high in oxalates, so if you have kidney issues or are prone to kidney stones, enjoy it in moderation. For most people, it's perfectly safe and incredibly beneficial. Number 4. Chickweed. Stellaria media is proof that great things come in small packages. This delicate little plant with tiny white star-shaped flowers grows in dense mats, usually in shady, moist areas. It looks almost too tender to be real, like something from a fairy garden. And when you taste it, it's got this mild, fresh flavor that's somewhere between lettuce and spinach, but with a subtle sweetness. Chickweed is incredibly nutritious, packed with vitamins and minerals, and it's been used in traditional medicine for skin conditions and inflammation. But forget the medicinal uses for a second, let's talk about how good it tastes. The stems, leaves, and flowers are all edible, and the texture is tender enough that you don't need to cook it at all. It's perfect for salads, especially when mixed with other mild greens. The flavor is so gentle that chickweed works beautifully in places where stronger greens would overpower. Think tea sandwiches, green smoothies where you don't want that grassy taste, or as a bed for delicate fish. I love making chickweed pesto by blending it with sunflower seeds, garlic, parmesan, and olive oil. It comes out this beautiful bright green, and the flavor is fresh and clean without any bitterness. One of the coolest things about chickweed is how it grows. It's a cool season annual, so you'll find it most abundantly in spring and fall, even into early winter in mild climates. When everything else in your garden is dead or dormant, there's chickweed, thriving, ready to add fresh greens to your meals. It grows so quickly and prolifically that you can harvest it repeatedly from the same patch, and it'll just keep coming back. Number 5. Wood sorrel. If you want to blow people's minds with foraged food, serve them wood sorrel. Oxalis species look like shamrocks with their distinctive 3-leaflet leaves, and when you bite into them, you get hit with this sharp, lemony tang that makes you go, "Wait, what?" It's got more zing than actual lemon sometimes, and that's because it contains oxalic acid, the same compound that gives rhubarb its tartness. The flavor is intensely citrusy, bright, and refreshing. Use wood sorrel anywhere you'd use lemon. As a garnish on fish, muddled into cocktails, chopped into salsa, or scattered over roasted vegetables. The little flowers are edible too and make gorgeous, tangy garnishes. Kids especially love wood sorrel because it tastes like sour candy, and getting them excited about eating wild plants is always a win. Now, the oxalic acid content means you shouldn't eat pounds of the stuff, especially if you have kidney issues. But used as a condiment or accent flavor, it's perfectly safe and adds this incredible brightness to dishes. Think of it like you would lemon juice or vinegar. A little goes a long way. I like to make a simple wood sorrel salad with just the leaves, some thinly sliced radishes, a drizzle of good olive oil, and flaky salt. The sorrel provides all the acidity you need, so you don't even need vinegar or lemon juice. It's also fantastic chopped up and mixed into compound butter, which you can then melt over grilled steak or fish. Number 6. Plantain. I'm not talking about the banana-like fruit here. Plantago major and Plantago lanceolata are completely different plants. Those broad-leafed or narrow-leafed rosettes you see in every lawn, every park, every disturbed area, everywhere. You've stepped on them 1,000 times without giving them a second thought. But plantain leaves are edible, nutritious, and have been used as food and medicine for thousands of years. The young leaves are best harvested when they're small and tender. They have a mild, slightly bitter, mushroom-like flavor that's really pleasant once you get used to it. The texture can be a bit fibrous, especially in older leaves because of the strong parallel veins running through them. But if you harvest young or cook them well, that's not an issue. Plantain leaves are fantastic cooked. Steam them, sauté them, or add them to soups and stews where they'll soften up and add body. They're popular in Korean cuisine, where they're called kargilgi, and used in various dishes. The flavor pairs really well with Asian seasonings like soy sauce, sesame oil, and garlic. One of the coolest culinary uses for plantain is as a wrapper. The large leaves of Plantago major are perfect for wrapping fish or vegetables before grilling or steaming, similar to how you'd use banana leaves. They impart a subtle earthy flavor and keep whatever you're cooking moist and tender. Nutritionally, plantain is loaded with vitamins A, C, and K, plus calcium and iron. It's also got mucilage, which gives it soothing properties, which is why it's famous in herbal medicine. But we're here for the food, and as food, plantain is a reliable, abundant, free source of greens that'll grow pretty much anywhere humans have disturbed the soil. So there you have it. 6 weeds that taste better, or at the very least just as good, as anything you're buying at the store. Once you start seeing your yard through a forager's eyes, everything changes. Those annoying plants suddenly become a source of free, organic, nutrient-dense food. You start to understand why humans lived off the land for thousands of years before industrial agriculture came along. Now, this is just scratching the surface. There are dozens more edible weeds out there, from curly dock to wild mustard to henbit to violet leaves. Each region has its own abundance of wild edibles just waiting to be discovered. My challenge to you is this: pick one plant from this list, learn to identify it with absolute certainty, and try it. Start small, start safe, but start somewhere. And remember, foraging isn't just about free food. It's about reconnecting with the natural world, understanding the plants that grow around you, and developing skills that humans have relied on for millennia. It's about walking through your yard and seeing abundance instead of annoyances. Plus, there's something deeply satisfying about making a salad from plants you harvested yourself, especially when those plants used to be destined for the compost bin. So get out there, start identifying these plants, and discover what your ancestors already knew. Some of the best food on earth doesn't come from a farm or a store. It comes from the ground beneath your feet, growing wild and free, just waiting for someone to recognize it for what it really is. Happy foraging, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll talk about how to actually prepare and preserve these wild edibles so you can enjoy them year-round. Until then, keep growing, keep learning, and keep eating those weeds.